Hi. As a child of divorce 2 times over with more parental figures than I have fingers, I feel uniquely qualified to judge other people's parenting. And the internet is just straight up bad at it. Hey, it's Mia, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are delving into the interwebs and the role that they play on raising our youths. Because, like it or not, technology plays a pivotal role in the upbringing of our children. Now, I was a part of one of the first generations to experience the extent of this whole internet interwoven into childhood thing, right? So the internet has sort of started to form its own microcosm of society. I don't even know if microcosm is the right word. I just kind of threw that in there.
A community, place, or situation regarded as encapsulating in miniature the characteristic qualities or features of something much larger.
I think it's not, because it isn't at all like the society we live in IRL. It's completely different with completely different customs and ways of interacting and even language and communication. Because of this, it's super easy to think that the internet and real world are different places, but they're not. I'm gonna say something really cliched, but it really sucks that teenagers nowadays can't live down their mistakes because the internet is forever. Today, I want to talk about Claudia Conway.
Hey guys, so you probably know me as 15-year-old Emancipation Girl, or that blonde woman from Fox News' daughter.
If you're not familiar with Claudia Conway, she is the 16-year-old daughter of Kellyanne Conway, who was one of Donald Trump's admins. I don't believe she works for him anymore, but I will try and fact check that when I go into editing.
2017 to 2020.
Claudia Conway has been in the headlines non-stop for the past few months for being a hardcore liberal that staunchly refutes all of her mother and Donald Trump's views. So the other week, Claudia Conway was cancelled after throwing a birthday party during a pandemic. Now, right away, I want to say that I am not defending Claudia for having a birthday party during a pandemic. I am, however, defending her God-given right as a teenager to fuck up and not have it ruin her whole life. So immediately after a few photos and videos leaked of people outside this gathering and groupings not wearing masks, Claudia was met with huge backlash from the internet. She was accused of performative activism. People are accusing her of not actually holding the other, more progressive views that she has. Basically, the tides just entirely turned because a 16-year-old girl threw a party when she wasn't supposed to. Sorry, this just sounds like the plot of most 80s and 90s teen movies. And yes, while I know that this is entirely different circumstances and that people's lives are at stake, it still doesn't accuse you guys attacking a child. I would think this is obvious. But if you go on the internet and verbally abuse a kid, no matter which political side you're on, you're a shitty person. It is not Claudia's fault that you put her up on a pedestal and expected her to do nothing wrong. She is 16. I'm going to be saying that a lot in this video, but she's 16, 15 during most of her rise to fame. She's gonna fuck up. She's gonna fuck up bad. And she has the whole world watching her. And honestly, I think Claudia is doing a lot better than most teenagers. She is actively questioning the political beliefs that she was raised under and using her platform to try and fight for good. I'm not sure how many of you on here are parents.
I definitely am not.
But I do know that when a kid does something wrong, freaking out at them, name-calling, that's not good parenting. And as adults on the internet, we are actually playing a role in these kids' lives, especially the ones that are getting all sorts of media attention. Can you imagine the sorts of comments they got? The creeps out there and you're gonna go and you're gonna add to that shit pile. If you are an adult on the internet and you notice a child, a teenager, they've messed up somehow, instead of going and commenting stuff like this,
Claudia Conway is an attention whore. I am so glad that we decided to hate Claudia Conway.
try this.
I'm sure you didn't mean any harm by this, but I wanted to make sure you were aware of blank.
And that is literally just one example. There are just way more effective ways of communicating your displeasure for their mistake and drawing their attention to when they've done something wrong in a way that is going to make them actually want to fix their mistakes, because their brains are still developing. And every little bit of feedback that you feed into that brain is going to affect how it forms. Now, I know that we can't expect everyone on the internet to step up to this parental role, that there's always going to be shitty people doing shitty things. I'm looking at you, Perez Hilton. Honestly, I forgot that Perez Hilton existed. He was just kind of irrelevant. I think I hadn't heard of him for like 5 years before he decided he was going to post a friends-only video of Claudia Conway's publicly and to make fun of her.
Editing Mia here, just to do a quick correction. I did look it up, and Perez Hilton did not, in fact, actually make fun of her himself. He did, however, like a bunch of comments that were making fun of her, so not really any better.
The subject matter of the video was really concerning. Claudia was expressing how the backlash from her birthday has been affecting her and how it's been making her depression worse and making her suicidal. Now, this wasn't posted publicly. This wasn't meant to be public information. This was her sharing it with her friends on TikTok. It's not attention seeking, so I don't want to see any comments like that, okay? So Perez Hilton reshares Claudia's video, and yeah, okay, we knew Perez Hilton was shitty. For those of you who didn't grow up with him, he's always pulled shit like this. But what really sucks is the amount of other people who immediately flocked to that comment section and joined in on making fun of her. By the way, Perez Hilton is 42. Yeah. Now, I've included some statements from Claudia Conway and her friends on the birthday party and what precautions they had been taking and what that was from their viewpoint, since I think it's very important to hear all sides of the story so you can draw your own conclusions. But whatever those conclusions may be, I hope after watching this, you're not going to go and try and tear down a 16-year-old girl. And instead, if you want to make a comment to her, you make sure it's respectful and sounds like it's coming from a genuine, mature adult and not a fucking 2-year-old throwing a fit. Okay.
I was literally at this gathering and everyone was spread out. Everyone was spread out. It was literally, everyone was wearing masks. Literally, Kellyanne was giving out masks. Like, everyone was wearing masks. Trust me, if Kellyanne gives you a mask, you put that mask on. People ended up doxing Claudia and randos started showing up, and as soon as randos started showing up, the party got shut down.
The local authorities were aware of the event and it was completely legal and all COVID restrictions were followed. That was until someone put on their Snapchat story my address, and many people who I had never met before started showing up to my house, not social distancing, not wearing masks, and being completely rowdy and ruining the situation. This wasn't an indoor party. This wasn't a, Bryce Hall situation. This wasn't anything of the sort.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I know this was a bit more serious than my content has been lately, but this is my channel. Like, I can post what I want, right? All right, thank you. Thanks. Ow.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what to see, you can hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, might as well leave a comment. Thanks a bunch.
This is like my second fine filming.